We start your 5 o'clock hour with developing news out of Boulder. Fire crews continuing to monitor a wildfire in the area near Chautauqua Park. It started last night. Boulder Fire Rescue says this fire started near the Enchanted Mesa trailhead. It grew to about a half an acre. There's a photo from Boulder Fire Rescue. They say that they stopped the progress of that fire, and as of last check before midnight, it was about 50% contained. This is the second fire near that park in about a month.
Switching gears now, let's take a live look out at downtown Denver this morning as we enter the first full week of April and relatively warmer days on tap. Good morning, I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Steve Stager in for Drew Carney. Brianna will be here with a look at your commute in just a second. But first, let's get to Katie LaSalle with a look at the forecast. Katie.
Hey guys, good morning. So partly cloudy skies, dry and pretty calm winds from Boulder to Denver this morning, which is helpful for that fire near Chautauqua. But in terms of conditions, no red flag warnings or extreme weather that we're tracking for the majority of this week. A little precipitation will be on tap. Unfortunately, not a lot of meaningful moisture. We're under a partly cloudy sky, dry conditions all across the state, coming off a really lovely Easter weekend with a lot of sunshine, slightly more cloud coverage for today, and yes, unseasonably warm temperatures on tap. Relatively speaking, we're typically around 60 degrees for a high. 60s and 70s return today through Friday. Chance for showers, though, mainly Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons and evenings. It'll be brief, light, and isolated, but this morning it is dry from the mountains to the plains, and we'll be hovering here in the upper 30s, low 40s in Denver this morning before the sun comes up. 11 o'clock, 56 will be around 60 for lunchtime and upper 60s to near 70. So a pretty nice day ahead. The winds will be a touch breezy at times, wind gusts around 15 miles per hour possible, but down across southeastern Colorado, that's where we'll see elevated fire danger. I'll break down futurecast. A little wet weather on tap mainly tomorrow, staying dry for this afternoon and evening. Should not really interrupt any travel plans in the mountains, and we are going to be seeing temperatures again back to the 50s and 60s in the high country. So Brianna, less about the snow we'll be tracking this week in the high country, more about rain, but any little bit of moisture will be nice for Colorado.
Okay, thank you so much. Happy Monday, everyone. 5:02 is your time. A live look right now all the way up in Windsor, where earlier this morning we were tracking a really bad crash that had the exit ramp partially blocked. This is for anyone taking I-25 near Carpenter Road, so near County Road 32. It looks like that area is still partially blocked, but I'm not seeing the heavy police presence that I was seeing about 30 minutes ago. So I want to show you what this looks like on our maps and also here in the Denver metro area. Not tracking any crashes this morning and no delays to report along 225 up and down I-25 from Fort Collins all the way down to Castle Rock. And expect to see more patrols out this week. Today, CDOT and CSP are starting their click it or ticket enforcement period. They're going to be watching out for drivers and passengers who aren't buckled up, and they're issuing citations. So during the same enforcement period last year, more than 5,000 citations were issued statewide.
Brianna, thank you. CDOT's also starting to install new highway cameras. You may remember nearly 100 went offline after the agency's contract with a private vendor ended last summer. CDOT says it'll replace 66 of them. Several are in remote areas, and people rely on those feeds to learn about conditions during snowstorms or traffic jams. All these new cameras will be state-owned and state-managed. CDOT says that'll address previous performance issues. The project's expected to be completed by the fall of next year. CDOT says they've already placed solar-powered cameras in areas where they consider coverage to be critical. That includes these mountain passes listed right there on your screen and the Nordic Center on Highway 65 in Mesa County.
Right now, police are looking for a suspect after a shooting that hurt two people in North Denver on Saturday night. This happened on Vine Street near Russell Square Park. The victims were taken to the hospital. We're working to learn how badly they were hurt. Police say no arrests have been made, no word about a possible suspect either. Denver police are also investigating another shooting, this one deadly. It happened along a busy part of South Broadway, right by Maple Avenue. This was early Sunday morning. Several bars and restaurants are in that area. DPD says when they got there, officers found one person injured. They later died at the hospital. Police haven't shared any other details around the shooting or about a potential suspect.
Police in Colorado Springs are investigating after 3 officers shot and killed a man. This happened Saturday night around 11 o'clock near North Academy Boulevard and Uinta Street. Officers say that when they tried to pull over a suspicious vehicle, the driver tried to get away but got stuck. That's when a woman got out of the car. The driver stayed. Police say that's when the driver fired at least one shot toward officers. 3 officers returned fire, hitting the suspect. He died at the hospital. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is leading that investigation.
One person is dead after several cars crashed on I-25 in Greenwood Village. The crash happened Sunday morning around 7 on I-25 at Arapahoe Road. 4 cars were involved in the crash. We know one person was killed, but we don't know if anyone else was injured. The crash shut down all but one lane of I-25 for about 4 hours. Greenwood Village police haven't said what might have led up to the crash. They are investigating.
Today, the city of Boulder will start its seasonal testing of emergency sirens in areas with significant flood risk. They will sound at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. The city says regular testing will happen on the first Monday of each month from April through August. The sounding of the sirens includes both an alarm and a voiced announcement. Boulder officials say the most important step you can take now is to make sure you are signed up for emergency alerts at bocoalert.org.
Thousands of JBS workers in Greeley will return to work this week after the company agreed to return to the negotiating table, but still there is no agreement in place. JBS said it received a formal notification from the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 7 union that it's ending its strike. Employees will begin returning to their jobs tomorrow morning. Nearly 4,000 employees at the facility started their strike on March 16th. They are seeking higher pay and safer working conditions. JBS said its best and final offer remains on the table. The company said its proposal includes what they call meaningful wage increases, a pension, and other benefits. Classes are set to resume today for some Sheridan School District students. The district announced yesterday that it will reopen 4 schools despite the teacher strike.
9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj joins us from the studio with all the details. And Shalima, how confident is the district that they'll have enough staff to try to operate these schools right now?
Well, good morning, Corey and Steve. The short answer, pretty confident. The schools set to open include the Early Childhood Center, Alice Terry Elementary, the SOAR Academy, and Fort Logan Northgate. Now, bus transportation and food service are expected to operate normally. The district says they will continue to provide meals at Fort Logan Northgate for families whose schools are not open yet, like Sheridan High School. Now, district staff have been working without a contract since August. They walked off the job last week after contract talks hit a roadblock. The district then closed schools for 3 days last week. Now, the union says they want more transparency from the district when it comes to pay and school calendars, all coming on the heels of another round of unsuccessful negotiations between the district and the union. Reporting in the newsroom, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
All right, Shalima, thank you. Xcel has filed a plan that it says would stop your electric bill from shooting through the roof. The energy company submitted the proposal to the Colorado Public Utilities Commission last week. It would force users like energy-hungry data centers to pay the full cost of power plants, substations, and transmission lines. For context, a Harvard Law study found that data centers sometimes sign sweetheart deals with lower power rates, passing those costs on to regular households. These restrictions from Xcel come as Denver puts a moratorium on data centers. Weld County commissioners will also consider a change in zoning for data centers at their meeting later today.
More than 200 Colorado National Guardsmen have been deployed to the Middle East. They have been sent there to help with the multinational force and observers. It's a peacekeeping force that supervises a peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. The National Guard says the unit will be conducting patrols, staffing observation posts, and helping with base operations. A departure ceremony was held Friday before the unit left. They did not say how long the unit would be deployed in the Middle East.
The ongoing war in Iran is continuing to drive up gas prices around the world, and there is no sign of any relief anytime soon. This morning, the national average sits at about $4.11, but here in Colorado, the average is $3.82. These numbers are compared to last year's average of $3.13, but today's numbers are definitely down from this time last week. Over the weekend, leaders from both sides of the aisle continued to call on the Trump administration for a solution to the climbing prices.
Donald Trump has gotten us into this reckless war of choice without ever clearly laying out the strategic objectives, the plan, how this is designed to actually make life better for the American people. We've seen the exact opposite, particularly as it relates to the dramatic increase in gas prices when we already are dealing with an affordability crisis here in the United States of America.
Now, this comes as OPEC Plus members announced that this weekend that they would work to boost oil production in May.